baseball fans. Oh, baseball fans. What is going on? Oh, yeah. You know, that music can only mean one thing. It's time for some late night baseball chat. Hi, everybody. Welcome to some Game 7 wrap-up chat. Dodgers, Blue Jays, World. I can't wait for tomorrow's game because, I mean, it's just that good a series. They're going to keep playing, right? It just keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until we have a winner, right? Am I wrong about that? You mean it's over? Oh, my goodness, it is over. And whoa, what a World Series that was. Well, friends, I need to admit to something. Those of you who have been watching these streams for the last, I don't know, weeks, I'm doing my traditional multiple pairs of glasses, have noticed a theme. And the theme has been this. The theme has been, I'm going to turn off the things that are making noise in here. And the theme has been this. What if we got a Dodgers Blue Jays World Series and it went 7 games and extra innings? Now, how would that be? Right? That'd be pretty good. Because as a fan of both the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, and I am a lifelong fan of the Dodgers, and I am an almost lifelong fan of the Blue Jays. And it was fantastic to see my two teams finally battle each other in an epic World Series. And I thought, oh, man, you know, I hope it's at least a good series. Oh, boy, that was a good series. That was a good series of baseball, of World Series baseball, right? I mean, it was kind of crazy, to be honest. You'd think that series couldn't get any better, and then all of a sudden they drop a Game 7 epic extra innings game with a 9th inning comeback from the defending world champs. Yoshinobu Yamamoto coming out of nowhere, and oh my God, that's Yamamoto's music. Here he comes for another 2 2/3 innings that the Blue Jays would just as soon forget. And the World Series MVP shuts them down. And Will Smith hits a big homer for the Dodgers. And Mookie Betts turns a great double play at the end. And the Dodgers are world champions yet again. And I'm sad. I'll be honest. I'm a little sad because, as always, what did I say all along? I wanted 7 games, extra innings, and the Blue Jays to win. Because I would love to see a Canadian walk-off. I think the Jays deserved another Joe Carter moment. And instead, what we got was an Alejandro Kirk broken bat to Betts for a double play. Which is not the ending anybody was looking for, frankly. The 9th inning, I mean, first off, Miguel Rojas. What happened? I mean, what happened? How can you let Miguel Rojas hit a home run? Are you worried about Ohtani on deck and you forget that there's a guy up there who can, pop one out every now and again just when you least expect it? And boy, believe you me, they least expected it in the 9th inning with 1 out. The Jays 2 outs away from winning the World Series. 2 measly outs. And yeah, one of them was Shohei Ohtani. And there's no guarantees because Shohei Ohtani is really, really good. But they'd kept him in the ballpark for the most part over the last couple games. And little Miggy Rowe comes up and just whacks a ball over the left field fence. And suddenly we're all tied up going to the bottom of the 9th. And even then, as the Blue Jays stumbled, bumbled, and rumbled their way toward loading the bases, it looked like they'd be able to push home a run. And I believe the ball was hit by Rochester's own Ernie Clement, who sent a rocket to deep left field with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, bases loaded. And that caused Kike Hernandez and Andy Pages to have a quick meeting. And the quick meeting was on the warning track, where they slammed into each other as Pages grabbed the ball at the last possible second, preventing disaster, saving the World Series for the Dodgers, and perhaps killing Kike Hernandez. It looked for a moment like Kike was down and may not be coming back, but you cannot keep a good Kike down. You cannot. And he popped right back up and was ready to go. And so they went into extra innings, and my dream came true. And now I'm thinking, okay, the vision is going very well because we have, a 7-game series. We even had an 8th game thrown in there if you count the 9 extra innings played at the end of game 3. We've got extra innings, and now all we need is that walk-off. That's all I'm looking for. Let's go Jays. And I again, people said, Colin, you have 2 favorite teams, the Dodgers, right, and the Blue Jays. As you can see, I'm representing both of them here today because I love my teams. And I loved this World Series, every bit of it, until tonight, when I was like, I actually kind of do want the Blue Jays to win this year. I think it'd be good for the team, for the Blue Jays to win, and then the Dodgers to like go on a quest next year to come back and make it 2 out of 3. And there could be like a little rivalry between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, my 2 favorite teams, as I may have mentioned 40 billion times on this very podcast, vidcast, whatever cast it is. And so, yeah, it was something. It was something special. And it was not to be for your Blue Jays this year. They did not get it done. They had multiple opportunities to get a runner over, get a runner in, a fly ball. Alejandro Kirk hits a fly ball to center field. We're still playing baseball. They were able to, get a big hit. They weren't out of it. Still not out of it. They're always in it. Always in the middle of something. And they tried their very best. And gosh bless them. I love that team. I am so proud of my Blue Jays. And everyone who thought coming into the World Series that it was going to be a Dodger slaughter, you may apologize to Toronto and to the Blue Jays. Your apology may or may not be accepted. But at the end of the day, respect. Respect must be given to those who have earned it. And the people who've earned it are the back-to-back champs. Viva los Dodgers. This is the official World Series towel that I got at Game 4. And man, that was something. It was just something to see. I don't know what was, you knew it was going to come down to something. When it got to towards the end there, and it looked like perhaps Will Smith's foot had come off home plate. I thought, no, I did not want that call to go against the Dodgers and for the Blue Jays. There was a forced play at home. Miguel Rojas again made an amazing defensive play, falling onto his earth and throwing the ball to get a force out at home to prevent the Blue Jays from winning the World Series. Because if that run scores, it's over. And Smith's foot came up a little bit, and then it got back down, but had Clement snuck in there. Was it Clement, I think, who was running at that time? He was all over the game. Goodness. Had they been able to sneak a foot in there during that minor bobble? And I just thought this is going to be like the Brett Hull goal in the Stanley Cup Finals, where like he was in the crease, but we don't count those ones, but this one we're gonna count, and it's going to be a rules thing, and it's going to suck. And fortunately, it didn't suck. And I think Will did get his foot back down. Fortunately for Will, for the Dodgers, and for baseball, there was not really a controversy on that play. And so, yeah. So he was able to get the force out safely. And I thought, well, this is good because I want an exciting baseball ending, right? And then we almost got an exciting baseball ending as, somebody hit a rocket to left field. Maybe that was Clement batting there. I've lost track of the sequence. It got a little crazy. I'll go ahead and look it up while we're discussing. But they made an amazing play. An amazing play out there in left field between Kike and Andy Pages, who'd come in for defensive purposes. And I guess those defensive purposes turned out to be quite purposeful because Pages came ranging over. Kike didn't have the angle on that one. He'd been playing very shallow for reasons known only to Kike. And let's see. Let's go back. We'll look at the exact sequence here at the bottom of the ninth. Bo Bichette got a single. That was great. Barger walked. The World Series winning run went to second with one out. And that's when they called in for Yamamoto. Alejandro Kirk hit by a pitch, bases loaded, one out. Dalton Varsho batting. Fly ball wins the World Series. It's a force out. Miggy Rowe to Will Smith. And then now there's two outs. Okay. Well, a hit could still win the World Series here. And Ernie Clement, as we mentioned, hit that sharp, deep fly ball to deep left center where Pages and Hernandez collided. And Pages held on to the ball and to the series. Rob says they're out of it now, aren't they? Yeah, they are. I don't think they are. I think there's still a chance. I don't think there's a chance anymore. I think they're definitely out of it. But yeah. And so that was an amazing sequence there where the Blue Jays could have won the World Series a couple of times in the bottom of the ninth, and we would have had massive celebrations on the streets of Moose Jaw. But it was not to be because as we said many times on this podcast and others, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the Blue Jays were unable to beat the best. And at a certain point, you tip your cap. You say, God dang it, they made great plays there at the end. The Pages play, fantastic. Miggy Rowe, an incredible clutch homer. Miggy Rowe, incredible clutch defense. And then, you go to the, let's see. You go to the top of the 11th, and then you've got Will Smith going deep off of Shane Bieber. Well, sometimes you bring in a starter and it doesn't work out. And what can you do? And Will Smith is clutch, as they say, and clutch is everything. He definitely got it done. But what I loved was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. immediately doubling to lead off the bottom of the 11th. And then the Blue Jays got the runner to third with one out. Walked Barger. You knew Kirk was a double play risk. I mean, I don't know that if you needed to start Barger there or I don't know. But that's a tough one. That is a tough one because Alejandro Kirk does not get fooled a lot. And he definitely got fooled there, busted up his bat and grounded into a World Series ending double play. Heartbreak for Toronto. Heartbreak. I had heartbreak. Those scrappy little Jays, I wanted them to win. But, as previously noted, I am a huge Dodger fan and have already, enjoyed a Dodger World Championship. And now I will enjoy a second Dodger World Championship. So it's difficult for me to be upset about what happened. But that being said, overall, I like balance. I would love my two favorite teams to trade off winning the championship or at least competing for it over the next couple of years. And I think the Blue Jays have a great young nucleus, an incredible core of players, your Addison Bargers, your Ernie Clements. I really hope they bring back Bo Bichette. Obviously, Vladdy got locked into a 10 or 15-year deal right now, or at the beginning of this season, not right now. That would be weird if they ran down after the World Series ended. Excuse me, could we sign you to a 15-year extension? Would that help? Because it would not help. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when you come that close. You come home, you went out to LA, you lost the heartbreaker in 18, but you bounced back. I loved watching him in game 4 come back. I loved watching him in game 5. Game 6, Yamamoto, okay. Game 7, I think the Blue Jays ended up facing the entirety of the Dodgers starting pitching staff, if I'm not mistaken. I'll take a quick look at the box score here and see. You started with Ohtani, went to Wrobleski, and then the other 3 starters, or 3 other starters pitched. Sorry, Glasnow. The Dodgers made a little bit of, I thought this was a tactical error. They brought in Ed Sheeran to pitch. That was weird. I was not expecting Ed Sheeran. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I'm sorry. That's Emmett Sheehan. My apologies. Emmett Sheehan came in to pitch. Well, very, very similar to Ed Sheeran. And then Blake Snell, and then, of course, Yamamoto to get the win. Yeah. You didn't see Kershaw. You didn't see Blake Trinan. You didn't see any of the other Dodger relief corps, who apparently the circle of trust evaporated around and were not available to play in this game, according to Dave. I mean, I guess if they'd gone 14, 15 innings, eventually you'd have to get to your Trinans and your Hernandez or Enriquez's and your, Jack, what's his name? All the other, bullpen types that were out there. But that was just an epic World Series. A great, great World Series. Super fun. Well fought, and almost fought on the field tonight when tempers flared a little bit. But it's not something you saw a lot of in this series. You saw a lot of like people talking to people, out there on the bases. Very friendly. Obviously, Teo and Vladdy are very good friends, and it seemed like a lot of the Dodgers and a lot of the Blue Jays had a lot of respect for each other. And, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Blue Jays bullpen joining the Dodgers bullpen in the tribute to the missing Dodger left-hander Alex Vesia, who had to leave the team due to family emergency reasons, with a little tribute on their hats, 51, his number. Super classy move by the Jays, relievers. Bullpen guys stick together. Some things are more important than baseball. So watching them like run out and pretend to have a bench clearing brawl in the World Series was kind of like, come on. There's not going to be a fight here. But as many baseball players have written in memoirs, I think most memorably Jim Bouton in Ball 4, it's mostly for show. You pick a partner, you dance around, you check in, making dinner plans for after the game, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, to get a little bench clearing and the bullpens, let's not forget, don't say that Clayton Kershaw didn't get a workout tonight. He had to run in from the outfield to the infield in the middle of the game unexpectedly. And I don't know how well he did, but it's nice to see Clayton retire with a championship. And a lot of people, talked about his kind of ineffective time in the playoffs. Go back and look at his stats for the regular season. As a matter of fact, I'll go back and look at his stats for the regular season because they were pretty good. Right? I mean, they were pretty good. All right, let's see. Clayton Kershaw. Let's go to Baseball Reference for that one. And again, forgive the lighting from, I don't have anything figured out here. It's all a disaster. 2025, he started 22 games for the Dodgers and went 11-2 with a 3.36 ERA. 11-2 with a 3.36 ERA. It's pretty good, right? Pretty good. So happy for Clayton. Real fun to see him go out on top. And yeah, what a series. What an amazing series of baseball. And now, not only is it no longer baseball season, but tomorrow is going to be dark and cold thanks to daylight saving time ending. Boo. Boo. I say to that. On the other hand, to the Dodgers, I say, yay. Congratulations. Let me know what you thought about the game. Please drop a note in the chat. I'll be happy to discuss some of Dave Roberts' questionable moves, because there's always some. There's always some. Yeah, I think things ended up working out pretty good for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And I think the Major League Baseball world got a good look at the Toronto Blue Jays, and I hope people liked what they saw. And it was impressive to see. Obviously, there was no quit in the Jays at all. After game 3, no. Bounce back to take 4 and 5. They just needed to find a way to get like one more run over tonight. That was it. They came up a run short in the World Series. A 7-game epic slugfest battle, whatever you want to call it, against the Dodgers. Bo Bichette had a homer tonight. That was very nice. Ernie Clement, dear God, the man hit like he was possessed during the World Series. And Vladdy had an unbelievable playoffs this year. And, Andy Pages trips over Kike's shoes there, and we're talking a whole different story. And that's the beauty of baseball. This is why I love baseball. Every little thing counts. Every little bit of thing that you do counts and can be determinative in the outcome of the game. And so it is rewarding to those who are able to focus on the micro tasks of baseball: fielding, situational hitting, moving runners over, getting, sacrifice flies when you need them, etc. And you don't have to have a team of 4 MVPs at the top of your lineup in order to win more games in the regular season, which the Blue Jays did, and in order to almost win a World Series. And that almost is very painful for Toronto. Very painful for my Blue Jay friends. But think of it as a growth year. We got amazing growth. I think we found a new, I hope it's not an Alek Manoah situation for the Blue Jays when it comes to, amazing rookie Trey Savage. Because that would be, Now, it should be pointed out, Savage did give up the Max Muncy home run, which pulled the Dodgers to within 1. And that turned out to be a very, very big deal. And, of course, Jeff Hoffman, who had a really, really, really good playoffs for the Blue Jays and seemed to have beaten the homer bug that he had been dealing with prior to this, picked a very bad time to give up a home run. Of all the times you want to give up a home run, 9th inning of a World Series Game 7 where your team is leading is probably at the bottom of the list. If not at the very bottom, very close to the bottom. I mean, at the top of that list would be first inning of a World Series game that you go on to win 16-2, I guess, is when you would want to give up a homer, because who cares? 9th inning, 2 outs away from winning the World Series, giving up a game-tying home run is not great. It's not the job you were hired to do. Pitching is tough. Pitching is tough. Pitching to major league hitters is tough. Because even the Miguel Rojases can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And I don't think anybody would have been surprised if Shohei had gotten up there with 2 outs and extended the Dodgers season with a homer. But I think a lot of people were surprised when Miggy Rowe did it. And you could see that look on Dave Roberts' face like, oh, dear God. You knew he was thinking. He was thinking about what the post-game speech was going to be like. Like, well, we tried our best, and, sometimes it just doesn't work out, and blah, blah, blah. And then Miggy Rowe saved his bacon with that 9th inning homer. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining. Let me know in the comments what you thought about tonight's Dodger victory, if you wish. And for Shohei to pitch humanly tonight, I think is completely appropriate. The man can only be asked to do so much, right? Let's see. His final line score ended up being 2 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. So yeah, not a bad night. And it took everybody. It took all of the starting pitchers of the Dodgers, plus 2 relievers. And it was one of those, as was said ahead of time, Johnny Allstaff was the starting pitcher. The entire staff was available, and just about the entire starting staff did get in an epic Game 7. But, I mean, look, it was a Day of the Dead special for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They were able to pull it off. Unfortunately, I think my Blue Jays shirt is going to have to go back into semi-retirement for at least the offseason. What can you do? It was what it was. And I hope the enjoyment that we all got out of the World Series this year, of watching the Dodgers and watching the Blue Jays and the other playoffs, is, kind of made the journey worth it. Being a baseball fan is fun. You do get to do a lot of stuff. You travel sometimes. I got to go to several games this year. I went to New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. I got to go see Dodgers and Kansas City Royals in Kansas City. That was amazing. Mike Brady in with a comment. Mike, incredible series, a battle until the last out, and then some. You cannot make it closer than they made it. I guess you could, but I mean, 2 outs in the 9th, 1 out in the 9th inning, getting a game-tying homer, amazing. And then being able to stifle a 1st and 3rd 1 out situation in the bottom of the 11th inning to win the title. Bless them. Bless those Dodgers' little hearts, and nothing you can do except tip your cap and call Yamamoto your daddy, as has been said in past similar situations in baseball. But and so, I mean, looking back on the season, I mean, I think we all remember the great Dodger slump of September, where they fell so far as to end up in the wild card round. And a lot of people thought, oh, well, maybe this, repeating is tough. Maybe it's not up for them, but they looked great against the Reds. And then that series against the Phillies, an amazing series. Phillies, unbelievable team. And I'm not just saying this to get the in on the good graces of America's favorite Phillies fan, TM, Amy Huggins. That was an incredible series that the Phillies easily could have won 3 of those games, no problem. But it just seemed like things would go the Dodgers' way. And then in the series against the Brewers, did that even happen? Was that a thing? Did Milwaukee field a team for those games? I don't remember. But the Blue Jays did field a team, and it was a very, very hard-fought and I hope entertaining series for all as we watched my 2 favorite teams battle for the world title, the Alan H. Selig Memorial Trophy. I don't even know. That's not what it's called. I don't think it should be. What is the World Series trophy called? I can't remember. There's a fancy name for it, and it's something. Here, we'll find out. What is the World Series trophy called? is the World Series. It's not the Larry O'Brien Trophy, right? That's not it. It is the Commissioner's Trophy, they call it. Well, the Commissioner's Trophy. The Rob Manfred Trophy? Blech. Blech. Yeah, by the way, again, thank you to my screen here for, I don't know, isn't there like night mode or something? Can't we put on here? It's got to be night mode, right? How do you put on night mode? Let's go night mode. I guess you can't go night mode. Wish I could go night mode. I wouldn't get all this glare off of my screen. But anyhow, that was the World Series trophy, the Commissioner's Trophy. Not much of a trophy. Just a piece of metal, according to Rob Manfred. Just a piece of metal. I thought it was more than a piece of metal. Had a nice chat with one of the girls tonight about what are all those things on the trophy? And I said, well, they're pennants, they're flags for each of the teams. And this did not faze her in the least. She did not ask why there were flags for each of the teams. And are they arranged in order of finish? Like, does the actual one that they take home with them have the flags? Like, at the top is Dodgers, right next to them is Blue Jays, and then you kind of work your way down on how teams finished after that? Are they alphabetical? I have a lot of questions about the Commissioner's Trophy. Not the least of which is, when are they going to call it the Commissioner's Trophy brought to you by Tough Skin, or some crazy sponsorship deal, which I'm sure is coming. Yeah. So that wraps up the baseball season. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good World Series, people. It was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun doing these streams with you. For the people who are watching, I see some of you over there on the Twitch hanging out. Sure would love you to comment at some point. I'd be happy to answer any comments, questions, concerns, etc. And the people who watched on Facebook this year, thank you. I got a lot of love from Instagram as well. Thank you, Insta users, Liz, Emily, Mike, etc. What can I say except for an amazing baseball season, an incredible World Series, and it's good stuff. I hope you all enjoyed it. I didn't see like a thing where Ron Howard was making a film about this one. He made a film, I guess, about the Dodgers-Yankees World Series, which, I don't know, the deal for that had to be reached before they knew it would be Dodgers-Yankees, right? So is there going to be a fancy Apple TV 7-game epic, 7-part series about this World Series? Well, let me tell you something, folks at Apple TV. I am available to work on that. As a producer, as a writer, as a voiceover artist. The Los Angeles Dodgers headed north to Toronto with one thing on their mind: bringing home a 24th World Championship. I think it's just their 9th. Bringing home a 9th World Championship. Is it 9? 55, 59, 63, 65, 81, 88, 2020, 2024, 2025. I think it is 9. And so congratulations once again to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and welcome to all of the millions of people who will be joining the Blue Jays bandwagon. And there's room. There's room to love that team. They are available for loving. You do not have to be Canadian to apply to be a Blue Jays fan. And if you are a National League fan, more so than an American League fan, do what I did when I was 10 years old. Pick up a team in the American League, and you could do a lot worse than the Blue Jays. Should be another exciting year next year. I cannot wait for pitchers and catchers to report. We have all of November, December, and January to get through. That's 3 whole months. And then I think because of the World Baseball Classic, there might be some early report dates coming up next winter. You may get some people reporting in mid-February, maybe earlier than normal. And so we will have time to talk baseball again then. And I look forward to it. More comments. Sorry. I want to get the comments in. Let's take a look. And this is a comment from somebody. Yes, definitely. I completely agree. Let me add to the block list there, that person and their dumb comment. Twitch bots. What are you going to do? Sometimes there's a bot on Twitch. So until then, until next season, I don't know. Maybe we'll do one of these during regular hours, early evening sometime in next week when we all can kind of process what we've watched, maybe on parade day or something. Does anyone know when the parade is? Is this the year I actually go to the parade? Might be. Monday, Tuesday, maybe Tuesday. I'm going to the parade. I thought about going to the parade last year and it just looked like a hassle. And I think I was right. So it may be a hassle again. And I don't know that I need to see the players getting that drunk, which is kind of what happened last year. They got really drunk. And I'm hopeful someone will pull them aside this year and say, hey guys, wait until the after party at Mookie's to really lay into the booze. We'll see. I'm guessing that advice will not be followed. And we'll see how the party goes. But congrats again to the Blue Jays. Congrats to the Dodgers. Excuse me while I get the hiccups at the end here. Here's my World Series towel, fresh from Dodger Stadium. Woo! On this Day of the Dead, baseball season has come to an end, with the Dodgers repeating as champs, much to the admiration of no one, except their hardcore fans like me. And yeah, it was a good one. It was everything I wanted. It was 7 games and extra innings. And next year, I want Dodgers Blue Jays, 7 games, extra innings, and the Blue Jays to win. And I'm going to be open. I will not beat around the bush on this at all. I'm going to be right up front about it. Next year, I want the Blue Jays to win the World Series, even if it means beating my beloved Dodgers. Okay? Dodgers won 2 in a row now. Share the wealth, boys. Let's share the wealth. Especially because 2026 could be the last regular baseball season we have for a while. Thanks to labor unrest. Don't you love labor bull pucky that gets in the way of actual baseball? I don't. And I hope you don't either. But so next year could be our last full baseball season for a while. And let's see how it goes. Yeah. All right. I'm still just kind of stunned by the game. Still kind of trying to process it a little bit. You know, I can't believe the Jays didn't win. They were very close. They should have gotten some runs across there. They had they end up with 16 left on base. Yikes. That's not like them. Couldn't get the key fly ball when they needed it. And you give all credit to the Dodger pitchers, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, everybody who was able to shut that down. All credit. They are the repeat champs for a reason. And yeah, they pulled it out by the skin of their teeth. Never really understood that phrase. Do teeth have skin? No. Okay, let's wrap it up. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate everyone who's been so supportive of these streams over the last couple of weeks as we kind of did the whole kind of baseball postseason. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time too. And we will talk to you very soon. So until next time, I invite you to leave comments on the YouTube or Facebook versions of this stream. I will try to, answer as many as I can. Be lovely to hear from you, some of you in the off season. And as I said, maybe we'll get a little something together for parade day. Who knows? Oh, things are binging in the background. Well, that's always exciting. All right. Let's see what the bing is. Maybe the bing's exciting. Tonight was absolutely incredible. Yes, indeed, it was absolutely incredible. All right, we'll do some more coverage when time allows. Until then, have a great night, everybody. Congrats, Blue Jays. Double congrats, Dodgers. Peace.